بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والعاقبة للمتقين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين، وأشهد لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له، وأشهد أن سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد بن عبد الله وعلى آله عبده ورسوله. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا، وبعد. Alhamdulillah, we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for this opportunity once again that we are together. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide us always and strengthen us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala always give us tawfiq for khair. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala help us so that we can commit more in learning and learning more and more about deen. We're going to continue talking about dawah in Islam and how it is paramount important for us to learn on how to convey the message of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Once again, when we come to the issue of da'wah, it's not a matter of what, but more into the issue of how to show, how to convey, how to tell the people about Islam. Because in terms of what, in terms of the religion itself, inshallah, that Islam is about lights, and this light is always shining, and nobody can deny it. In the last session, we talked about the importance of humbleness, the importance of being humble in making da'wah. Humble in the sense that we are not able, without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we don't have any capability. Without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala's help, it is very necessary for a da'i to be humble and always remember that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala basically is there to assist us and to help us. The one who holds people's hearts is the one who basically changed the people's heart. يقلب كيف يشاء, because he's the owner, he's the khaliq, and he's the malik, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And so certainly Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is very necessary in this process. The second meaning of humbleness also is that we have to be humble to the object of da'wah itself, and it means to the people that we convey the message to. Our minds, and we take it seriously into our consideration, that the one that we talk to, the person that we might consider, kafir at the moment, or don't believe in it at the moment, that in fact it is a matter of time. It is a matter of opportunity. It's a matter of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-mashiyah, Allah's will, that he may become even better than us ourselves. So when we talk to someone and try to convey the message of Allah, humbleness is ourselves simply because we feel that we are believing. Yes, we have to be proud of the faith. We have to have self-izzah, self-dignity, and respect without faith. But at the same time, al-izzah, it doesn't necessarily mean arrogance. Humbleness is a value, is a human value. And so we have to show our humbleness to the people whom we talk to. That's very, very necessary and important. Tonight I'm going to talk about possibly above all the point that I have delivered before. And this one is even more important beyond every point that we have discussed. Our words with our actions. matching the words and action. It is very important to understand that words basically is even stronger in terms of influence than just words. You may talk beautifully. You may have the capability in rhetoric that you know how to deliver in terms of words and lectures. But unless people see the action, and in fact, the Prophet Muhammad, of course, is very capable in his communications. He knows how to communicate. The best communicator ever is the Prophet Muhammad. And we know that sometimes the Prophet Muhammad said a very few words, very short, brief sentence. It affects the impact on people's minds and heart is so heavy, so big. And there are many examples that we have seen that in the history of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. But beyond his words, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has become influential. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam actualized his words into actions. He turned his words into actions, and that gives a strength. It becomes heavy in people's mind. It becomes more influential because people can see the connection between what he said and what he did, the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And therefore, in the Holy Quran, Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, basically, when we come and talk about da'wah, his responsibility is vision. Your obligation is to do tabligh, mean to convey. When he conveyed it, that's it. The rest is in the hand of Allah. It's in the hand of that person. You accept it or not. But here, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Holy Quran emphasizes on the importance of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to be taken by us as a role model. لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. Now, the question here is why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not command the Prophet to become a role model. And Allah directly just reminded us that there is a great example for you to why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not say, oh, Muhammad, become a role model for you people. Because he exemplified it. He is already a role model. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala doesn't need to command him. Because Prophet Muhammad himself is a walking Quran, is a living example of what Quran is all about. كان خلقه القرآن. And so Rasulullah is the best example for us on every aspect of our human's life. And therefore Rasulullah, if you may remember, and I'm sure you read the history, the seerah, and Rasulullah almost, did every single human beings do in their life. He was a shepherd, and then he was a businessman, then he was soldiers, he was chief and commander, called commander in chief, you may say. He was a king, he was a husband, he was a father, he was, in any Prophet Muhammad sallallahu, and he is the best example for us in every areas of that human's life, in private and in public. The way Prophet Muhammad sallallahu talked, the way Prophet Muhammad sallallahu communicate, the way Prophet Muhammad sallallahu even angry. When you talk about angry, Prophet Muhammad was usually angry. He is the best example for us when he's angry. As a human, there's a nature that he had that feelings of anger. But how and why? There's how and why. How Prophet Muhammad was angry and why? It's a big question. He was angry for good. He's angry for the truth. And who is the angry? He is not destructive. He doesn't have to burn buildings. He doesn't have to kill someone else around. But he expresses anger in order to solve the problem. is the anger of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So even in his anger, there's an example for us. The way he behaved to children, the way he behaved to his wife, the way he behaved to his friend, to his neighbor, the way he behaved to, let's say, to his Sahaba, possibly can say to his students, you may say, as a teacher. You know, he is the role model for us. لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة. And al-uswat al-hasana here is even very essential when you come to the field of da'wah. Because people often ask this question, if I become Muslims, when I become a Muslim, what type of Islam? Because people are, you know, particularly Western, those people who live in the Western society, they tend to take Islam through anthropological, you know, how you call it, social behaviors. In other words, they study the religion from the behaviors of people. You know, don't expect that American people are going and buying books and studying Islam and learning from the Quran. You know, it's very exception. You may have some few people that they wanted to learn, they go buy books and they read the Holy Quran. Most of those who turn to Islam because of friendship, because they have friends who happen to be Muslims and they have become, you know, close and attracted to learn Islam. But the beginning is human connection. In other words, most of those who wanted to learn Islam because there's an example they see in human's life. And that is the necessity of being a role model in dawah, matching our words with our action. The Holy Quran, in fact, criticized the people of the book of Israel at the time, saying in Surah Al-Baqarah, تَأْمُرُونَ النَّاسَ بِالْبِرِّ وَتَنْسَوْنَ أَنفُسَكُمْ وَأَنْتُمْ تَتْلُونَ الْكِتَابَ فَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. Do you command the people to do good and you forget your own selves? In other words, that you command the people to do and you don't. And that is a criticism of the Quran to the peoples of the book. When the first one, in fact, we are in the front line to be criticized. Are you calling the people to believe why you don't, or half-heartedly believing? Are you calling the people to worship and you yourself half-heartedly worshiping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? Are you calling the people to be honest and you're not honest? Are you calling the people to be humble and you're not humble? Are you calling the people to be kind and you're not so kind? You know, all these are criticism. You know, and we feel when you read this ayat ta'muruna nasa, you know, we know that this is intended in the beginning for the people of the book, particularly for the Israelites in this case, but we Muslims were the first readers of the Quran and so before anyone else. Similarly, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu lima taquluna ma la taf'alun, or believers, why you say things that you don't do. In other words, in my own simple and humble translation, why you make Islam as a slogan. You know, and we see that in the Muslim's life. How many times that on mimbars, on manabirs, on the pulpits, we tell the people beautifully that Islam is peace, Islam is justice, Islam is about friendship, Islam is about prosperity, Islam is about brotherhood, Islam is about positive thinking, Islam is about discipline, seeking knowledge. All these are beautiful. And we preach that on the pulpits. But when it comes to the reality of the Muslim's life, this is what the big question is. It's a very huge question. Do we do that? Or do we have that as an example? And when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, وَكَذَلِكَ جَعَلْنَاكُمْ أُمَّةً وَسَطًا لِتَكُونُوا شُهَدَاءَ عَلَى النَّاسِ وَيَكُونَ الرَّسُولُ عَلَيْكُمْ شَهِيدًا. One of the meaning of shuhada or shahada here, that you make the people witnessing. They are witnessing the virtue and the good, and the people are watching. In fact, the people are watching. And so again, in our attempt and our effort to tell the people and to convey the message of Islam, it is very necessary that we have to struggle to be first committing ourselves to follow the deen. And I use the word matching words and actions, or in Arabic language, al-qudwa, to become al-qudwa or role model. If you read the story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, this story of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, you will find that Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam basically had been a great example even before he was appointed a prophet. And that's why we know in the seerah that he had been given a title, Al-Amin, the trustworthy. And he was a young person in the city, in Medina. And because of his character, who is honest and truthful, he never lied, the people call him Al-Amin, Muhammad Al-Amin. So Allah prepared him to be a role model even before he was appointed prophet, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And almost every single person in the city loves him because of his character and his integrity. Then after he became a prophet, of course, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam actualized that in his behaviors. I would like to mention one of our great friends and our dear Imam Hamza Yusuf. Once I listened to his lecture, and he mentioned that he was happy that he met Islam before he was meeting Muslims. And what he meant was that he was studying Islam, studying the Quran before meeting any Muslims, before he knew any Muslim in Islam. So he believed in the before he met any Muslim. Beautifully, many books talk about Islam beautifully, but when it comes to the reality of Muslims, before meeting any Muslim, I still remember also a young guy here in New York City. He's 20 years old. His name is Mark. And so he used to play basketball with a Muslim teenager. His name was Muhammad Islam. And from the very beginning, when they became friends, secretly, Mark saw Muhammad Islam differently. And they used to train basketball on Friday evening. And so one day he saw Muhammad Islam went to the side and he moved, according to Mark. He moved. So he asked him what are you doing. He said, I am praying. And so Mark asked him, why you are praying? For what? And Muhammad Islam said, because I am a Muslim. And because Mark have, watched Muhammad Islam in his behaviors, in his character, the way he talked, he was very interested, basically, to know what does it mean to be Muslim, what Islam is all about. So he said to him, how to be a Muslim. So alhamdulillah, Muhammad Islam asked him to come to us, and Mark came to us, and we sat down with him. In just 45 minutes, maybe or less, he accepted Islam, alhamdulillah. But he became Muslim, and I'd like to underline this one, not because of the lecture that we delivered, not because we talk beautifully, but because of the influence of Muhammad Islam, who behaved nicely. The qudwa, the role model, the example of his friendship as teenagers, 17 years old, high school students. So it is very important that we must continue our effort, not only to present Islam, but more importantly, to represent Islam. representing Islam in our behaviors, in our character, how to behave with our friends, with our neighbors, how to talk, how to communicate, how should we smile. And all these are becoming tools of da'wah for us. But unfortunately, we have to acknowledge that Muslims oftentimes fail to be role model. And in fact, Allah says to Ibrahim alayhi salatu wasalam, Inni ja'iluka linnasi imama. Indeed, I had appointed you to be a leader for man, for people. Now, what is the meaning of leader? Al-imama. Al-imama is the conclusion that represent everything, every best character or integrity or quality of a person. You know, when you say he's an imam, the quality that any person needs to represent. And so when Ibrahim والسلام, was appointed imam because he can or could be a role model for his people, and the people can follow him. So it is very important for this ummah as imam, because kuntum khayra ummah, you have been evolved as the best nation, as the best ummah. And as the best ummah means we have to be able to represent that best, the word best. Best in manner, best in action, best in behavior, best in our public, personal, family, and whatever, our lives in general. When we do our business, we have to do the best. When we are in the educational field, we have to do the best. When we are in the medical field, then we are the best. When we are whatever, we must be the best because we are khair ummah. So we represent that sense of best to become a qudwa, to become a role model. But unfortunately, once again, and it's a pity to say that both on individual levels as well collective level, Muslims fail to represent the beauty of Islam. Let's go and see the Muslim lands, Muslim countries. Literacy. It means the ability to read A, B, C. I'm not talking about building universities. I'm not talking about establishing desks, libraries, or any great research or anything. No, I'm talking about reading ABC, reading Abata. Muslims are so low in terms of literacy. Still, many Muslims even cannot read. While we know that the first ayah of the Quran came to the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu as a command to read Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. Read in the name of the one who created. A command to read, an order to read. Allah obligates this ummah to read. Of course, reading is not only reading letters, but it's about expanding our horizon. It's about expanding our mindset, our vision. It means sharpening our intellect. That's the meaning of reading. But let's begin by reading ABC. How many Muslims basically cannot read? You come to some majority Muslim countries and you go to villages, some of those people cannot read even ABC. Where the example? And so once again, there are many things that unfortunately that we fail to represent Islam. The best or the most Islamic, of course, this is in terms of social issues. I'm not talking religious, I'm not talking about religious issues, I'm talking about aqeedah, I'm not talking about ibadah, I'm talking about social behaviors. The best and the most Islamic nation, take the word Islamic, the most Islamic, not most Islamic nation in terms of social behavior are mostly non-Muslim countries. For example, New Zealand is among the Islamic emotions. When you drive on the street, you feel so peace because not too much chaos in the street. You go to the Muslim countries, sometimes like passing the street, and the car even doesn't stop. Life is too cheap sometimes. We feel in the Muslim countries, and if you want to see that, go to Umrah or Hajj. For the pedestrian to cross the street because those cars do not want to stop sometimes. Well, in the Western society, kings streets are those who are walking on the street, the pedestrian. That when you cross the car, motorcycle must all stop, let go. It's all of Islamic things. When you are lining for anything, the banks, for example, you don't have to cut up the lines. This discipline, first come, first serve, and you are one elderly person, man or woman, standing, and you see that this, if you don't give that seat to him or her, it is Islamic. Because that's what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, أَرَأَيْتَ الَّذِي يُكَذِّبُ بِالدِّينِ فَذَلِكَ الَّذِي يَدْعُو الْيَتِيمَ وَيَحُضُّ عَلَى طَعَامِ الْمِسْكِينِ. The meaning of these ayat, that we have to be on the side of the weak and marginalized people. But we don't see that in the Muslim society sometimes. So again, coming back, our character, the best and the most effective way of conveying the message. So this is the last point I'd like to underline. In order for us to convey this message, we need to become a role model, both individually and collectively, both in our individual, private, personal life and or our collective and social life. A single element of human's life. We Muslims be the role model. And alhamdulillah, we experienced that the majority of those who accepted Islam is because of friendship and something that directly they learn from our behavior, straight path. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala open the minds and the hearts of the people around us so they can see the truth of Islam. They can see the beauty of Islam. But once again, I'd like to end with this, because this is the last point for this particular subject. I just wanted to say once again, particularly my brothers and sisters who are here in the United States, that your presence here in this country, yes, there is no doubt we are all coming here to better our life materially. We don't have to deny that we are coming here so that we can have better life in terms of material life, and nothing wrong with that. But you have to remember, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has put trust on our shoulder. Allah entrusted us to be the ambassadors and the representatives of Islam here in this country. So either you want or not, either you like it or not, either you are aware or not, you are all ambassadors of Islam. And you have to take this very seriously, because all of you are representing the beautiful teaching of Islam. And hopefully you can represent the beautiful teaching through your beautiful character and behaviors. Through your akhlaq, inshallah, we can change the many misconceptions, the many misunderstandings of the people about. But inshallah, we have us, and we must be in the front line to compete with those media, to present and represent the most beautiful teaching of Islam, inshallah ta'ala. May Allah give tawfiq, inshallah. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.